The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here he is, Brandon.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Brandon Peters Show for our 60s Batman at 60 series. Look back at the show that turned 60 this year. Our episode that, if you're listening on the day it drops, is also turning 60 as well. I appreciate you all joining me for this. Before we get started with our episode, I just wanted to say thank you for all the cool feedback I got last week and excitement for the show. Got me to go, you know what? Let's keep going as much as we can with this. Let's see how we go. I got some questions that I can answer here too. One of them was about will other people be on the show here? And yes, I've had some colleagues reach out to me about doing some guest work here. So other people will join at some point. So there may be some longer episodes there. Number two question I was asked by many people. It's like, are you going to do the movie? And the idea is yes. When the time comes at the end of this, Scott Mendelson, Aaron Newworth, and myself will do a commentary track for Batman the movie, which comes out between season 1 and 2. And then referring to season 2, people ask if I'm doing season 2. We'll see. I'm not making any promises. Season 2 is a lot of episodes. And if I'm feeling this, if this goes smoothly, if I get into a groove, I will more than likely go through with it. This is, I said before, it's just kind of a solo project right now. I just kind of want to do it and have it out there. If not, even if this isn't the grand display or experience I imagine it to be, if it's a good enough experience for you, I'm very happy about that. And I'm enjoying it myself. This is a series I love, and what better way than just to, instead of just watching it and going back through it, but watching it and taking advantage of having my platform, my show, to share my feelings and thoughts with it and discussing it with just you and me, talking to you about it. So appreciate your listens. I appreciate your interest and questions. Keep them coming. Talk about your memories and things like that with the show. I appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into this week's pair of episodes, which we hit here with the first one, which aired on January 19th of 1966, Fine Feathered Finks. In this episode, the Penguin is recently released from jail, and he's got a scheme. And it's like, what is this scheme? What's he going to do? But the scheme is for Batman to lead him to his scheme. He creates these events of nonsense with umbrellas that cause havoc, but he doesn't rob anything. He doesn't do anything. They're just kind of practical jokes. And he lures Batman in, wanting him to find a specific umbrella that is bugged and can listen to Batman as he tries to decipher what crime he thinks the Penguin will commit, and the Penguin's going to commit that crime because Batman's going to give him the keys to do it. That's the idea here. And in the first episode of it, we get a lot of that. And the second one, yeah. So in the second half of it, they come up with the crime, and the Penguin is going to kidnap a star actress, and then there's a ransom and a foiling, and that's how we go. The episode is based on the comic Batman number 169, Partners in Plunder, which was written by France Heron and Sheldon Moldoff. So it's also credited to Bob Kane, based on characters appearing in Batman and Detective Comics. I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but in case. But as everybody knows, Bill Finger is also the co-creator of Batman, which wasn't labeled here and in a lot of things till many moons later. But here we are, Fine Feathered Finks. The comic it's based off, Partners in Plunder, has a lot of similarities. This, for a good chunk of this comic book, the episode feels like a straight adaptation of it. So here are the things I found from Partners in Plunder that relate to the episode. They called the Penguin the man of 1,000 umbrellas. As I said, very straightforward adaptation until a point. There's even the term, the Penguin says to Batman, "Tut, tut, Batman." That is in the comic. So dialogue even.
You're disturbing the peace. We've got enough to put you back on ice, Penguin.
Oh, tut, tut, Batman. I only make the umbrellas. What they do after they leave here is hardly my affair now, is it?
The Penguin switches. This is a different thing that he does. When Batman comes to visit him at his umbrella shop, the Penguin switches the monocle on it, like what eye he wears the monocle on, to mess with Batman and see if Batman notices and be like, "What's up, Penguin?" Just trying to prod him to reveal a scheme that he thinks he might do. And there's a meteorite plan that is discussed. And in the episode of the show, they're like, there's this bejeweled meteorite at the museum, and then Batman and Robin are like, "Oh, the security's too much. He can't do that. That's impossible." And they move on to the kidnapping scheme. Well, that doesn't happen here. That is the actual scheme they go with. And so that's what happens. They do have the umbrellas on the rooftops and things like that. And the magnet that traps Batman and Robin comes into play here as well. And Robin even says, or actually it's Batman that says, "Stuck like flies in flypaper." But it's Robin, I believe, in the episode. And Batman and Robin, they have instead of what happens at the end of this, which is, your good old brawl, Batman and Robin have a rocket umbrella chase with the Penguin to get the bejeweled meteorite back. That's what happens in this one. So a very different, obviously adapting that or turning that into the episode, the budget wasn't going to happen. So they came up with this kidnapping plot. And it also probably extended the life of the episode to make 2 episodes as well. In Fine Feathered Finks, the first of the 2 episodes, part 1, the special guest villain is Burgess Meredith. He plays the Penguin. Now, Meredith, this has been known for being blacklisted in the McCarthy era for being a communist or ties to communists or supporting. And this late 50s and 60s was his comeback. He had some Twilight Zone episodes, and this Penguin part really suited him well. He'd later go on to be in Rocky in the 70s. That would be a big thing. And then I remember also he was in the Grumpy Old Men movies. Pretty funny in that. Production-wise, we don't change much. Robert Butler directs it, and Lorenzo Semple Jr. writes it. So we'll have to wait till next week for a new one of that. There's no riddles in this episode because we're not with the Riddler, but Batman, Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, and Robin, there's a part where they all look through a record of new umbrella companies that were started recently in Gotham, and Robin notices one called KG Bird, and he pointed out KG Bird, like all that. And then there's like a lot of alliteration, like the Fine Feathered Finks. There's plenty of that here in this episode as well. And there's still fun like the Riddler episode we're here with the Penguin, and that's maybe a trademark of the show here to go with it. So let's move on. The celebrity window cameo, not yet. Haven't had our first one, but Batman does climb a giant umbrella. The Penguin shoots out this rocket up of this giant umbrella that lands in Gotham, and there's a hilarious scene where he stops. Batman's in the Batmobile, and he gives Robin a megaphone, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, hold on." And it's pretty silly. And then they have Batman climb up. He does, the rope and climbs up because there's a little umbrella on the handle of the giant one, and that's the one with the tracker on there. So, no, we got climbing, but we don't have a celebrity coming out of a window. It would have been something if there was a window on the handle of the umbrella. That would have been interesting. All right. Gadgets used in Fine Feathered Finks. The bat phone, bat poles, the Batmobile, emergency bat turn lever, bat rope, batarang, bat-brella, which is named by the Penguin. That's the one with the tracking, the not homing device, but the bug on it. Bat Cave, Bat Computer, Hyperspectrographic Analyzer, Chemoelectric Secret Writing Detector, and the electronic bugging devices, which literally look like bugs and doesn't do much, as we'll find out here shortly. I'll tell you why when we get to the cliffhanger. So, fighting words in episode 1. None. No fight. Nothing. So they clearly saved that for episode 2. Right now, that's a part 2 thing.
Holy popcorn.
Robinisms. Here's what Robin says in the episode that's very Robin-like. We have, with an attitude like his, I'm afraid he was all turned loose. If he was turned loose at all. Ooh, I can't talk. With an attitude like his, I'm afraid he was turned loose at all. Then he said, spread your wings, Mr. KG Bird. We're flying you down to headquarters. Haha. Some notes I have while watching this episode before we get to the cliffhanger. While most of America viewed the show in black and white, despite it being in color, the Penguin is actually first introduced in a black and white via prison surveillance video. So they watch it, and the first time you see the Penguin, he is literally in black and white. So he was introduced in black and white. Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson sure love fishing in the eyes of Aunt Harriet, because that's the excuse they keep telling her that where they're going or why they got to do it. The Penguin communicates via carrier pigeon, which is pretty funny. I thought that was nice. A very noticeable stunt double for Burt Ward jumps out of the car when they arrive at KG Bird's. I was like, damn, not even hiding it. Maybe on a cathode ray tube in black and white or something, or color, they got away with it, but woo. It's pretty funny. Alfred doing some cleaning and vacuuming in the Batcave. I'll tell you, this show's pretty funny. This show knows what it's doing. It's got little Snickers all around in it. Bruce Wayne gives the Penguin an umbrella that belonged to his father. So we'll get to that in the cliffhanger. But it's like, oh, look, it's a Thomas Wayne umbrella. Penguin does not know what Bruce Wayne looks like. Bruce Wayne shows up and no recognition. Penguin has a little penguin that announces the time. Comes out, what time? So this cliffhanger, when Batman and Robin, they decide they're going to bug Penguin's shop, and Batman decides he's going to go as Bruce Wayne there, and he takes the bug, but it doesn't work. He puts it on a lamp, and it immediately sets us as an alarm that Penguin knows when bugs are in there. And so they put him in a net, knock him out, and put him on a conveyor belt going to a furnace or fire or whatever, like the crematorium. It's like a crematorium almost in the Umbrella Factory. And the announcer says, keep your bat fingers crossed. Same time, same channel. So we're not at same bat time, same bat channel yet. That'll come later. So that leads us into our second episode, The Penguin's A Jinx. Once again, special guest villain Burgess Meredith as the Penguin. Written and directed by Semple writes, Butler directs. We have another guest star who's in the second episode, Leslie Parrish, who plays actress Dawn Robbins. She was in the movie version of Lil Abner. She was in The Manchurian Candidate, the original. Lots of TV stuff, including Star Trek in the episode Who Mourns for Adonis. She played Carolyn, and she also at this time starred in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So the cliffhanger ends with Bruce Wayne waking up, and he tosses his butane lighter into the furnace, which blows it off and knocks him off the conveyor, and he runs away. But the Penguin thinks it's okay because he was coming in here to do that, so he's not going to go to the police, whoever that man was. So So there's no riddle here either, but Batman and Robin deduce that the colors on the Batbrella are a clue to where the Penguin is going to commit a crime, and that is a jeweled meteorite at the museum. But no, too secure, like I was saying. That's the way they just plan. But the beautiful Dawn, that's what they were saying here, Dawn Robbins, because that's what they said the umbrella looked like, a beautiful Dawn.
Beautiful Dawn.
Huh?
Dawn Robbins, the beautiful movie star. She's on location here in Gotham City.
Holy popcorn. Could he be planning to kidnap her?
Dawn Robbins in a picture called The Mockingbird, produced by Ward Eagle, and she's staying in the penthouse at the Pelican Arms.
birds in every bush.
A penguin ploy, if I've ever heard one.
So done. And they got this peas with the penguin stuff I was talking about, that penguin ploy, and then penguin plans to pull it. Just good humor stuff. Good humor stuff. In episode 2, is there a celebrity window cameo? No, but they still climb, and they when they climb, the film's sped up. It's kind of weird looking, but yeah, we're still thirsty for that first celebrity cameo. When will it come? Who knows? Well, you can look it up. You can watch the show, or you already know it. But let's just go along this journey together. The gadgets used in episode 2, the homing TNR, the Bat Cave, the Bat Poles, Gotham City plans and views, Sneaky Batman, the Bazooka, and the Bat Rope. The Bazooka, what that is, if you didn't watch the episode, if you're like, what's a Bazooka? When they go to climb the building, it's too high, so they decide to use the Bazooka, which they put a grappling hook and a rope in there, and that's what they use to get up there. And it's funny because they put it in there, they shoot it off, and the Penguin's goons here, they're all like, "What?" One goes, "What was that?" And the guy goes, "It sounded like a bazooka." And I laughed out loud because that's super funny.
What was that? Sounded like a bazooka.
There's another funny one in this episode, but I wanted to put that one out there first. Okay, so here we go. We have a brawl here in episode 2. So here are the fight words, the onomatopoeia fight words in episode 2. We have pow, 2 exclamation points. Oof, 1 exclamation point. Crunch, 1 exclamation point. Bam, 1 exclamation point. Zalonk, 1 exclamation point. And clunk, 1 exclamation point. So, if you're keeping track at home, your season tally for the fighting words here. We have crunch, zlonk, bam, and kapow, all in the lead with 2. Kapow was not used in this episode, but it got used twice in the original fight. So, everybody else has 1. That's where we're standing. Who will win? Will some word that we haven't even seen yet come in and take the lead? Like, we don't have bang in here. I don't know. We don't have whap. Who knows? We'll see. This is the season tally. We're going to keep it running. All right. At the end of the first fight, too, or the end of the fight, Robin has this laugh when Batman clonks 2 guys' heads together. Here, check it out for yourself. Weird, right? So that leads us into Robinisms. He has holy popcorn, birds in every bush, holy lodestone, what's happening? Holy flypaper, what a fix! Up the river, you birds of a filthy feather. See, filthy feather. Gosh, what's the matter with that gorgeous girl? So silly, so silly. Here are some notes I have from this movie. This episode. This was the first one I had noticed use the use of Dutch angles a bunch, because that becomes a commonplace here, mainly in the villains layers to get you off center. There's a part where Robin says something about like, they'll probably, his arsenal in the criminal storeroom, or whatever, of the Penguin, like, just metaphorically. And there's cuts to when the Penguin's men by Penguins, like, huh, okay. And he walks over and opens the door. It literally says criminal storeroom. I laughed. I chuckled. It's so good.
Gosh, yes. He's got all that equipment ready-made in his criminal storeroom.
And then I mentioned the Bazooka. Penguin and gang ziplining across the skyline is actually kind of cool looking. I thought it was nifty, like going doo 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 doo. Like Looks really cool. It's obviously a fake background stuff, but I think artistically it looks really cool. Like silent film, awesome. Like a gem there. Batman and Robin have sported gas masks in both stories that we've had so far. And both times they were in part 2. Like I thought a fight was going to happen, but no. The fight, by the way, starts with fencing with umbrellas. It's poor fencing, but it's something to start. The ransom for Dawn Robbins is $200,000. That's how much it is for her, but yeah. And I loved Alfred, Aunt Harriet fighting Alfred because they have this plan where they're gonna trick Penguin. They let him hear that Batman and Robin are gonna be in the knights in armor suits at the front door of Wayne Manor, and they're gonna like jump out and grab Penguin when he grabs the money for the exchange. But Penguin comes in, gasses the armor suits, gasses Alfred, and puts him next to Don Robbins after he takes the money. And Aunt Harriet finds them together. She's like, oh. It's funny stuff. And it's like a harmless thing too. They're sitting there. Like, it's not like they're naked or anything, but they act as if she caught him in some devious act. But anyway, what's Aunt Harriet think of Alfred? And then there's a party at the end of Wayne Manor, and Don Robbins come to it, but they catch Commissioner Gordon talking to people, bragging about it. He's like, nothing so strikes terror into the criminal mind as the shape and shadow of a huge bat. Very cool, but kind of something interesting here. Very lore-like that I like him talking about like that. But yeah, so that's Fine Feathered Finks, Penguins, A Jinx. And yeah, that'll do it for this episode. I appreciate you listening. Next week, the Joker. We're not there yet with the little end tags or whatever. But yeah, Cesar Romero comes in, and we will be talking about the Clown Prince of Crime, who doesn't enter into this one till episode 5, story number 3. Very cool. We will get to that. I appreciate you listening or watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I add pictures and clips and stuff, so it might be a little more interesting for you. And I'm very excited to keep this series going and revisiting one of my favorite shows of all time, and excited for you to be on this journey with me. So without further ado, you can find me on the socials at Brandon4KUHD. I have this YouTube channel if you're not already on it, and you can find some written work of mine in Fantastic, a celebration of fans discovering Doctor Who, which is also now available in anywhere you can find from Zeppo Publishing. And I also have a documentary coming out in a couple weeks, Doctor on Display, the USA tour from Real Time Pictures. It'll be premiering in Los Angeles at Gallifrey 1, the convention. And I think it also drops on digital that same day, and orders will be open from Real Time Pictures. So you definitely want to see that. That's a fun one. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, that's my Doctor Who stuff. Hey, throw in there. So yeah, next week, the Joker. There are some episodes that are going to be tossed in for the Brandon Peters show during this all, and I am also in the background recording the summer of 86 at 40, which I cannot wait for you to hear this summer starting in May. But till then, I guess we'll see you same bat time, day, same YouTube, Spotify, Apple channel. I don't know. But you know what I say? I always say, stay film positive.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.